Some people say there are no original stories in cinema. There's like 7 of them. But do you feel confident that you can defy this idea, and how will you do it?
Of course, otherwise I wouldn't be making films.
No, I agree with that idea wholeheartedly. I'm majorly inspired by ancient mythology as much as modern stories, as much as religion stories. I mean, when you look across cultures and across the years and decades and centuries, you find the same themes everywhere. And I think that is what underlyingly makes us human, and that's what we have in common, cross cultures, cross continents.
I think it's true, because we are a product of our time, we're a product of our culture, and we just grab things that are around us.
Yes, it's always the same story, and it can be very useful to use icons that everybody can acknowledge very easily. We all use them, you know. Certain images are shorthand for something, and they have to be, or we'd be defining every single thing as we go. That's impossible to tell a story if you have to define the word and the, you know?
Yeah, maybe there is no originality, but I believe that in general, just say there's no generality. If you are thinking of, yes, we are using the same ideas, we are using the same materials and so on, but I think as a human being, any individual is an original.
I think it's, the way that you overcome cliches and stuff like that is to really just sort of bear down and notice the details of life. And I think, they're everywhere, they're right in front of your face, and all you have to do is notice them.
I have my camera. I'm just going to go and experiment with little things that don't require huge crews, and my shorts have all been these big productions. It's going to be little, small, just me experimenting, and that's the only thing that I can do to make sure that I am original.
It's going to have my senses. I'm going back to the first questions, but I will pick the characters I imagined, and I will bring myself.
So it's not really the story you're telling as much as it's how you tell it, and how you tell it that is relevant now to whatever the current zeitgeist is.
And I see so many films where I think, okay, this person really didn't have a very original approach, and sometimes I'm a bit scared that I might not make it, but I still believe in that. It has to be.
If you couldn't make films, what would you do? Do you practice another art form?
If I couldn't, I cry.
Bailarina.
Yes.
Y poeta.
I will be a film worker, maybe.
What if you couldn't perform?
I'd cry. I don't know what to do.
When I was in kindergarten, I want to be pet shop owners. Yeah, I like animals, but now I hate very, very much pigeons. Birds, I hate, and my nightmares of 90% of nightmare, pigeons attacks to me every night.
If I couldn't make films, I would become a shell of a woman.
I'd probably be an airline pilot.
Most likely I'd be an emergency room doctor.
I guess I would write about them and watch them.
So probably I can't be an owner of pet shop now. Anyway, I want to be an artist to expression of myself and expression of world.
So do you have the desire to speak universally, crossing social and economic boundaries, perhaps with very specifically directed means?
Absolutely. I think all work is also to entertain on some level. I care about my audience, and I want them to want to see my movies. It's not even at all about my expression. What I do is very personal to me, but it's also, I hope, personal to others as well.
I feel like everything good, or I want to say everything I like, but some things might not count, does address the macro in the micro, I guess. I mean, like there's when you set out to overtly send a message, it usually
the last movie is politically more dealing with, because I come from very complicated politically country, so I guess those are the materials that I want to, but not in a pessimistic way, you know, but how to resolve things, because how to get a problem and try to resolve this with the cinema.
What is the line between creating change and, say, propaganda?
Whoa. Well, it's always going to be a fine line that you draw, and in some ways it's almost indistinguishable. I mean, take, for instance, Bowling for Columbine, which was a very controversial film in the States. And a lot of people were, very critical. I was very critical of the film when I first saw it, because I thought, boy, this guy is like really doing whatever it takes to manipulate people's opinions and like just get them to react however he wants. But then the more I thought about it and the more I sort of looked around at what people were saying and reacting to it, I mean, this movie like generated discourse and discussion and argument and like ideas like I hadn't seen any movie do, like documentary or fiction, in a long time. And that in itself is really valuable.
All of our films, propaganda, I think what makes it cross that line to me is when you are doing it for somebody else to tell what they want to tell, and it's not even something that you believe anymore.
Do you have flying dreams?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, not recently, but I think I will soon.
In all the time, this is the problem. I'm not underground. I keep on forgetting myself, forgetting where I am, and this is what I do. I dream. It's a profession.
And as a child?
All the time.
Always.
Flying dreams.
Flying dreams.
Yeah, of course. But
How do you fly when you fly in your dreams? Like a bird? Through the air? Like Superman?
Like a bird. Flying similar like Superman, I am flying through the clouds.
Like a butterfly.
No, it's not happening when I'm sleeping. It's happening when I'm daydreaming, you know.
Well, as we started these interviews a couple of days ago, I started to thinking about it, and I really can't remember if I had myself flying dreams, but every night I try to now to have these dreams, and I hopefully it will work someday. I don't know.